Welcome to One Crack News. Oh man, I gotta reload my pistols, man. Got a machine here that makes it easier to load as we chat here tonight. Now, let's get into this because it needs to be said. Late night chats. Now, many people in the industry, they come after people of color. Why? I have no idea. They choose this route and they say this is safe. It's a safe thing to do. Let's go after the quiet guy, the man who minds his business. Or if anybody says something that's outside of the status quo, we immediately come with drawbacks, condescending words, and we start attacking. But ask yourself, why are we doing such a thing? Why are we attacking people? And we don't treat so-and-so fairly. What's good for Johnny ain't good for Jamie. That's the way they look at it. They say, this isn't good. Now, we've seen an Anglo-Saxon man say and make a statement, or a woman is champion. But let's say a black man or a black woman, going by their standard of colorism, it is not met with the same type of energy. They're known as complainers and whiners. All right, this one's done. And everything is seen in a different light. Now, if somebody's complaining and whining all the time, right? Would you want to be around a person like that? No. But they do that to get you to be what? Quiet. They don't want you talking. So they often speak negatively about everything you say. Not about the topic in which you're talking about, just the fact that you're actually speaking. That means they want you to be quiet. Have you noticed people don't even argue the point or even try to rebuke anything that you say? It's all dismissive. They will say, oh, you just a hater. Yep, never any information. No back and forth, no need for debate. It's a constant. It's a growing constant that you become more and more familiar with as the day goes on. Okay. So they're telling me, all right, we got one clip for I need to get another box. Need to box around. Now, yeah, this device makes it easier to load, so I don't have to use my finger to do the damn thing. I can just drop it in. Now, what we've seen over and over again. Okay, this is done. Yeah, that's loaded. Next clip. Now, when I see situations go to where people don't get the benefit of the doubt, or people don't even listen to what they got to say because they don't know anything about what they're talking about. Now, it's like somebody who's never shot a gun in their life trying to tell you about a gun. And you go to the range every day, you got guns galore, you done seen everything, and they're trying to tell you what's what because they didn't read a book or saw a story when you've actually been there. You know what it sounds like when a certain caliber goes off. You know what it sounds like. You know what the smell is like. You know how the feel is, the energy level. You know what that feels like because you've actually been there. A person that read a book can just tell you what they read. They can't tell you those details. So you know from experience. Using that as example. So if someone's telling you something, maybe instead of being condescending, you actually listen to what they have to say before you start cutting them off. But as you see in today's sports media world, or even the professional media news world, it's always the black voice that is not appreciated. And if the black voice says anything different than what he's supposed to say, he's ostracized. Just like that. Kicked out. Straight to the curb. Now, it's unfortunate that people are still colorizing everything. It's 2024, and can you believe people are still colorizing shit? For what? If you're afraid of a black man living next to you, you should be afraid of any man living next to you. Your problem is fear. Now, there's so many different tales of what someone can do and what they can't do. But now you've seen it the disrespect happening at so many rapid levels now. And they're blatant with it. Why? Because they brainwashed you to be okay with it. Nobody's marching. No one's complaining about anything anymore. They just say, well, that's America. The court systems are even going against you in the record ways. You watching the Young Thug trial, it's a shock that he's even allowed to do anything that he's doing right now. Okay, we full of those. It is crazy right now because a lot of the people that's there, they don't even realize or understand what it is that they're going against. Well, you see, you got to understand some things, you know. Now, it's easier for them to discriminate against you because you're not going to care. Before, it would cause a lot of stir, and they would be looked at badly and very poorly for their actions. Not the case now. Nice. Locked and loaded. Done and done. Now, we go to the next one. I've told people countless times that when you get in scenarios with people or you get into arguments, what are you really getting in an argument about? And for what? Right? Now, back to the media world. Blacks in the media are now starting to complain as they now noticing that their jobs are dwindling away. Gee, who didn't see that coming? Now you got to start asking yourself another question. Why is this happening to you? It's happening to you because of the simple fact there are different levels to this. And when you get caught in a level that don't make any sense, you're out there in a different realm of reality. Okay? There's now waking up to realize, hey, something's not right here. How is this Latina girl getting the job over me? What is this Latina doing getting the job and I'm not? Well, it's quite simple. The Latina's getting the job and you're not because they like that wavy, light-skinned Latina over the amable braids or my hair in any which way I want, black woman. They only need you when it's a diverse situation. Other than that, they have no need for you. They don't want you to say or do anything. They just want you out of the way. While they go back to running things the way they like, the good old boy way. And if they don't want, yeah, that's my ankle piece. What they don't want is you getting in the way. See, that's the problem. when people start getting in the way. Well, what happens when people get in the way is then they got to remove you. Now they could do what they want to do, and they ain't got to be worried about how you feel about the situation. They don't care. They don't care how you feel about the situation, one way or another. Because now they know nobody else cares. So they can mistreat you, put you in scenarios that are not suffice to you. And now we're locked and loaded. Oh, yeah. I like that. No, I'm going by Drake House. Just kidding. Just kidding, people. Just multitasking right now. No, we don't advocate violence. Now, why is that a case? Why is that? We have these scenarios that don't fit our agenda. Why do we have scenarios that are not fitting our structure of who we are as a person? Why do we still in 2024 waving the flag of begging? Why in 2024 are we behind the 8 ball? Everybody else is moving up in jobs. We're moving down and begging for other jobs and getting paid less than what our education is required for us to have. We went to school for these things, but we're not acquiring them. Do you know why we're not acquiring them? I actually got more than 5. You forget it comes with 2 white, but I bought the 2 white controllers, so I got those too. But yeah, I like it. I like my own selections. I like my options. As you can see, I got 4 of them on the chargers down there. I got 4 charging ports. Now, as we have this conversation, I think I'm out here. We're missing out on some very key information. I'm gonna try these out too. Never really used these before. Finding the right brand too for your weapon is essential too. That's very essential. Because believe me, some ammunition will cause your weapon to jam. And that's something you don't want. But getting back to this, we're in the same boat of begging and asking for stuff. Everybody else is excelling or finding ways and avenues in their lane to go. Is it because we're lazy? Well, the majority of us have gotten lazy. We've become decadent because now everything is given to you. You got a lot of women now that just want to depend on getting money from the baby daddy or the federal government whatever they put in front of them. That's their plan out. They'll rather do that than go get a job, because why the hell would they? If they make more money from the federal government sitting on their ass, getting free housing, paying $25 to $15 in rent, why the hell would you go to work? Would you want to go to work? I know I wouldn't. I would not want to go to work. If somebody in the federal government told me they're going to pay my rent, I'm paying basically everything, I'm getting food on the 1st and 15th, hell, those are like my paydays now. I get paid on the 1st, get paid on the 15th, I get paid on some other days, but my big major fat checks come in on those days. So my thing is, when does it become a problem? A lot of y'all might believe YouTube pays for this house. I'm here to tell y'all factually, 100% on my mother, it does not. Shocking, right? It does not. The YouTube money is actually extra. This house is not paid for by YouTube, but kind of in a way, but not really. I had to create other streams of revenue in order to make this a reality. YouTube is great, but that stuff is like extra now, because I found a way to not live off one line of revenue, because if you live off one line of revenue and they cut that off, your water's cut off. Now you got nothing. Now what you got? Where you gonna go? How you gonna eat? Now you gotta go back to square one. You gotta start all over again. You don't want to do that. You want to always have an option. You have to learn to be equinox. How should I say this? That the world, because I don't want to make it sound overly complicated. Economically valuable. Okay? That's what you want to make yourself. Economically valuable. That means you're not replaceable. And how do you do that? By creating your own damn job. So when we are on the Patreon, some of this is the information that we talked about. We talked about starting your own banks. You know what the first thing a black person told me? Man, you can't start no goddamn bank. You know, these white folks ain't gonna let you do that. You ain't got no money. It takes money to start a bank. You got no money for that. Right away, first thing the black man said to me the moment I told him that he could get a bank, he immediately gave me every negative reason that he couldn't do it. Do you want to know why he gave me every negative reason why he couldn't do it? It's because he's programmed to be that way, and he doesn't even know it. He hasn't looked up any information on the banks. He didn't even go and see if it was actually possible. His instant reaction was no, it can't happen. The white man ain't gonna let you have a bank. This, and that. Go watch this movie. That was his response. not realizing there are black people who have their own banks, individual banks, online banking, charter banks. Chime is a charter bank. It was a small charter bank. There have been a lot of them. They've come along. Credit One. They didn't even have a physical location yet. They took over when another bank went out and they changed their name to Credit One. And back in the days, you couldn't get a credit card. They started not caring about your drug money. In 2009, they made a decision. We don't care. The economic is terrible. This whole world is going to hell in a hay basket or whatever. And this is it. The economic housing collapse and the jobs being lost. Everything's going digital. There's not a lot of physical jobs and manual labor jobs to keep towns afloat. There's no revenue coming in. So what's going to keep the town afloat? What's going to keep people moving? What's going to keep the wheel turning without the country falling into a third world country? Drugs. Drugs, people. That's right. Pharmaceuticals. This country did not care about your drugs anymore. They did not care. They promoted it. They didn't care about your money laundering. Money laundering wasn't even a crime no more. They want to help you. They decided to give you a card. Most people would have to wash their money, their illegal drug money. They were like, you ain't got to wash it no more. We're going to help you do it. What they had was a new card that you didn't need a bank. You don't need a bank no more. Because now, if you had that money, you didn't have somebody else had to have a credit card, and you had to pay them extra amount of money so that they could buy it on their credit card, and you give them a little extra for doing that for you. And you paying it right then and there to them. Because your money, you don't have a credit card because you got illegal money. Right? You're a dope man. So what happens? The currency exchange, check cash in place, had a card called the ICE Bank. The ICE cards. You ever seen an ICE card? For those who didn't have bank accounts, for those that didn't have a credit card, didn't matter. Get you an ICE card, and you can use that to buy anything online, buy tickets, buy anything. You put the money on the card, so it's your money. They're not putting any money up. They're just giving you the card, and it's good everywhere. Once the dealers learned that, they said, dog, all I got to do is apply. I don't even got to do nothing. I just get this card, and I put it on there, and I can use it like a credit card. Oh, bet. It changed the game. The ICE card was the first one in the currency exchange system to give people credit cards where they putting their own money on it. And they're using it like a credit card. Now they don't have to deal with the banks. They don't have to deal with anybody coming over there to say, hey, man, how do you get all this money in this card? No one cares. The game is over. All the hustlers now are going to the Maldives buying plane tickets. Woo! Taking the baby, yo, put it on my ICE card, baby. Here's my ICE card. That's right. Maldives. 4 tickets. I'm sitting next to LeBron, baby. They didn't care. And why? Because it's all easy. I gotta plug in this charger. There we go. There it is. So now, you get to see it from a broader stroke. Most people in the industry, most people in the game, they don't care. They look at it as one way. You're never going to grow. So why are we still colorbound? Why are we still worried about the color of something? You should be worried about the color of money, and are you getting it? Racism is everywhere around you. Racism is right down the street. We were just in the live chat, and everybody was talking about where they live and how racist it is over there in South Carolina. Boy, they racist down there. Man, they racist down here and outside of Birmingham, Alabama. They racist right where you live right now. Go down the street, it's racist. Where I live right now, down the street, racist. Racist everywhere. So what are you going to do about it? You're not here to open minds. You're there to open pocketbooks. That's your job. Get money. Am I going to stop getting money because somebody might be racist? I'm supposed to starve because somebody else is racist? I give a damn about him, his racism, and anything about him. Not my problem. My problem is I got to get money. And you in the way of getting, in my progress of getting some money, I don't care about you or your racism. Because one thing I've learned is that racist people will swallow their racism real quick when they realize you the money. They just got to swallow it, and they got to deal with it. They hate it, but they got to deal with it. So that's the key. Don't care. Their racism isn't stopping you. Make it to where their racism can't bother you. So how do you do that? Multiple revenue streams. You find a way to maximize your income. Stop depending on the government gonna take care of me for the rest of my life. Because they're taking care of you. It's just keeping you alive enough to keep the economy going till you die. Then the next one take over. And you're a product of the system. It's not there to enhance you. Because they know only about 4% or less are going to come out of that area that they grew up in as a success or be successful. Everything comes with hard work. I would bet on the guy that works hard every day. Now, could I make things a lot easier for myself? Yes, I could. Plenty of times over. Did I make mistakes? Absolutely I did. Tons of them. Still making them now. But I don't want to repeat them. I want to learn from them. Because then it's not a mistake. Once you learn from it, it becomes lessons. A life lesson. So you don't want to get caught into that. You want to get caught in the situation that you can control. You want to be in the situation that you're the boss. You're the man or female in the horizon. And black women, stop hating on black men. Stop. Stop it. You have sons. You have cousins, nephews, period. Stop hating black men. Stop. Stop letting other people dictate your emotions. Stop letting the television tell you what you should do. Stop it. Black men don't hate you. They hate the fact that you hate them. black men, the reason why black women are starting to hate you is because you're not acting like men or black men. This is why when you act mature, immature, and do kid things, boy things, this becomes your new reality. This becomes the situation that you are now accustomed to. This is what you got to breathe now. I know. Life lessons. Everybody's stuck in it. But some people just keep repeating the same pattern over and over again, hoping for a different success. This was supposed to be a great day for America. Barack Obama's getting inaugurated as president of the United States of America. A mixed guy with his black wife, his 2 black kids. And this was supposed to be a great day for America. Right? January 20th, 2009. The country was in its worst state it has ever been in its history of existence. Why? Because we're not a manufacturing country anymore. We're a distribution country now. All we do is distribute. Made in America used to mean something because you knew you were getting quality. But then the cost became so great and our greed became so infatuating with us going overseas to smaller countries. All our billionaires, all our millionaires didn't want to pay taxes and help build the infrastructure here because it was costing them more money. They wanted to go overseas where they get taxed much less to get their clothing, their whatever their company is, manufactured over there, and then bring it over here and sell it up at us for a markup price. We've seen Nike do it. We saw Donald Trump do it. We saw many other people do it. They run to China. They run to Taiwan. That washing machine you got in your house, Whirlpool, made from North Korea. I mean, not North Korea, South Korea, Taiwan, all these different places. And they bring it all the way here from the United States. If you look in your house right now, and you look at all the stuff you got, if you knew where these stuff came from, it would blow your mind. Everything you got in your house come from a place you can't even afford to go. But you had bought everything from there. And you think that wasn't going to have an effect on the world? Why do you think they didn't care? Once I saw this, I said, oh, we're in trouble. White folks don't give you nothing unless they don't want it no more. Okay? They don't give you nothing unless they don't want it no more. The White House, they wanted that real bad. That's the head of this country, head of this nation. When it was at its lowest point ever, they gave it to a black person, saying, we don't want this no more. Y'all can take it. Because now the game is destroyed. Now anybody can do whatever they want. The country is in disarray. And why is it in disarray? Well, the people before them actually came there and sold everybody out. So by the time they take over, gas is at the highest it's ever been, and there was an economic housing collapse for the first time in this country's history in 2008. And then they elected the president. They had the government shut down everything. He had to get everything back balanced, do it without being called a thief, or he stole money from here and there, knowing that. So he had to watch every dime he does because he's black. That will be magnified. You know they're going to steal something. Something's going on. They're using campaign funds for this. So they didn't do it. They actually took the time out to spend their own money. Just to be safe when they took vacations. Like, look, let's use our own money. Just in case somebody try to say, well, we weren't supposed to do this, do that. Just to keep it safe, we're going to spend our own money. So imagine that. Yo, you didn't have to spend your own money. And you spent your own money. Because you knew they were going to try to do it. And they did. They tried to spend it. Oh, the first lady takes her kids on a vacation trip on the country's dime. Nope, they spent their own money. Just to shut people up who was going to say just what they said. So they did that and had to endure it. So now that the country is back to a little balanced, but it's still on shaky legs, they got the most out of it. They made a business. They had a whole corporation built up. Now, Barack Obama can get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars just to speak. He's a multi-millionaire. He's getting billions built. He became the richest president to get paid out of the White House. He popularized himself and his wife while being elected. To now that even though they're out of the White House, you know, most people when they get out of the White House, nobody give a damn about them no more. They just fade away. Not them. They're celebrities. She got books galore, all of them. Famous. They popularized it. So they knew how to get something out of it for them. They made the White House work for them. They took what Clinton did and times it. So you have to find your way to make something for yourself in a bad situation or a situation that don't work for you pretty much. You have to find your way out of it. Stop using stuff as an excuse. Sometimes somebody could have given you some good advice and you didn't already shut it down. If somebody's trying to do something, don't shoot it down. If they trying to do something positive, be happy. Or just don't even get involved. Don't be focused on it. Everybody who hyper-focused on that stuff is mad because they ain't doing shit. So they got to bring the other person down. Now, why are we still begging for jobs? Because as jobs lessen, who you think they're going to look out for? You or they own? They own. Hell, there ain't a lot of jobs here, so we don't take care of our buddies here. One of the last companies I worked for did that. They decided they were going to take care of their buddies. So they went ahead and took care of their buddies. And what did they do with taking care of their buddies? Oh, they went right on ahead and said, this is the way we're going to do it. It's our buddies here. So they went ahead, taking care of their buddies. They said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to let go of all the people that do the work because we're running low on jobs for them, our buddies. And we're going to move our boys to this area where y'all did all the work and let them come in. And we just gonna lay all y'all off. Send y'all home with pay. So it was like, this is dumb. But okay, I need a break. So I'm like, I'm good because I get paid on YouTube and I was getting this money. So that's 2 checks. So now I'm just like, I can go off of my YouTube check and they're gonna give me some money here. I'm laid off. I can just increase my channel, do more work on my channel from at home. They're gonna pay me to be there. Bet. Now they got a problem. They homeboys who they moved to this position can't do this job. They couldn't. They didn't know how. They're used to the chilling, laid back jobs that they've been doing. They were lazy. They got fat and lazy and old. But now that the job is going away, no more drilling, all this stuff is going away. So now nobody's really drilling no more. So they move everybody there to a new department and they all died out. They couldn't get the work done. Then they didn't have enough work. We were back ordered for months. Jobs was coming in scarce and layoffs were coming. And I told them that the writing was on the wall because I'm like, look, we filled this whole wall up full of orders. We got pre-orders. Like, if they want to order more, we already got it done. So I'm like, what are we doing here? It was so bad, they couldn't even count to 10. All you had to do was put 10 spiral wave rings in the tray. 10. Then you go to the next tray. 10, 10, 10, 10. You can't count to 10? You got people putting 9. They ain't even counting. They just filling the tray up. They not even counting if it's 9 or 10. They just want to fill the tray up. They're not counting how much is in there. So I gave them the idea. I said, look, the company is losing money because the customers are upset. They feel like they're getting shorted. Then you got to redo the job. And the next thing you know, you're paying for delivery to make sure they get the extra parts that they're missing. So you're losing money. And it's all because you have lazy employees. So when I was there, I came up with a system that they tried to take credit for. I said, why don't you weigh the scales, weigh the actual pallets before you put the products in them? You make the boxes, you get the skids, you make the box, put that on the scale, you know what it is already. Then you take and fill it up, one that's perfectly done, and you know the weight of it. So you know the weight should be this. Not all the time it's going to be this, but you know it should be this around in this area. Now, if we're missing substantial amount of parts, that number is going to be dramatically off. It'll tell us, like, if the numbers is like, okay, this, and this. Okay, we're missing a lot of parts here. Now you go scale it up and you see, boom, we got missing parts. Break it open. So this way we weigh the scales before we box it up and send it out. And if we know that it's astronomically lower, we know we're missing parts. It's common sense. So I made it a whole new system for them, but they thought I wasn't economically valuable. I was an expendable asset. So they made a decision because it was less costly to them. So they laid us off, brought in their guys. Why? Because it's their business, it's their show. They brought in their guys. Their guys didn't want to follow the rules. They've been lazy. They've been up there getting paid big money to do nothing. Now they're getting paid big money to do this job, and they can't even count to 10. And they ruin up their whole jobs. Everything gets messed up. They had to sell the company. It was a family-owned business. They had to sell it to Caterpillar. Family-owned business for like 60, 70 years. Had to sell it to Caterpillar. But Caterpillar couldn't help them either. All that racism crap, there was a lot of racist people that worked there. Tons. And in their mind, there was only a certain level you could get to if you believe that crap. If you're good, you will go to where you're supposed to be. And because they made that mistake and they started thinking our homeboys, our guys, our friends, our team, instead of what was best for the company, they failed. And they went belly up. They didn't change with the times. They were thinking race and basically entitlement. And because they thought that way, look at where they ended up. Look what they ended up with. Nothing. So you end up with nothing because you put people who are afraid to work. A standard and a practice that everybody's supposed to have, right? Why they didn't possess it? Because they probably had it at some earlier point in their life and they got lazy, they got relaxed, they got a family, they got security, they got 401k, and they just said, and they don't pay attention to what's happening on the news. They just think those are words on the screen. Next thing you know, job gone. Securities are gone. And now with all that gone, your scenario and your life changes. Your whole life changed from we used to do it this way to now we can't do it this way ever again. Everybody cares about who like them and who don't like them. Stop worrying about who like your ass. Worry about if they treat you the way you're supposed to be treated. That's what you need to be worried about. I ran into my former supervisor there. Like I said, he's a good guy. But now I'm like, I make about 7 times what he makes, if not more. Why? Because my mind was never there, as this is going to be my permanent residence. And the people there thought I was insane because they didn't understand the program of thinking that I had. My program of thinking was, I'm expanding this, I'm finna grow this, I'm moving here, we got our boxing website going, we finna do this, we're gonna have new videos on there, we're doing that, and then by this year, we're gonna go to that level, then we're doing this with the real estate, then we're doing this commercial real estate investment deal, we're doing that with our other team, with our other company. They were like, dude, you're here working with me. Why are you doing that? So people think you're, for one, they think you're full of it. Okay? Then they seem like back then it was MySpace and all that stuff was still around. And like Facebook was early on, like still really kind of getting there. But they looked at that and they saw me with all the celebrities and first thing they say, Photoshop. So now we Photoshop, right? So now it goes from Photoshop to actual, okay, now it's not Photoshop. So what is it now? So now that it's not Photoshop and they don't know what else to come up with, they flip it and just say, well, damn, what are you doing here? And I said, because I don't beg. I don't beg people. I don't want to be a hanger-on. I'm not going to do that. If I can't provide a service, or if I'm not good at something or a job I need to be doing there, then I need to be doing my own thing. I need to find my lane. And rather than get in a crowded lane, I'm going to find my own lane or create my own. So that way I don't have to be a liability to people. The world has no more use for another useless man, okay? Trust me, there's a lot of useless men. So we have to learn and start to be productive again. That's a problem. So don't blame the white man for you not being productive. Because we were always productive in the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s. Productive. When the times was hard and we knew what we were up against, we had to be productive or die. You couldn't afford to be lazy. You afford to be lazy, you starve, you eat, your family, your kids, everybody starve. You don't know how to fix a car? Well, guess what? You got to walk on the road and hopefully somebody don't come pick you up and drag you off somewhere. So you better learn how to fix a car fast to get off those roads. It was survival, wasn't an option. So you got to know your people came up struggling through that, through those times where it was right in their face. Any moment could be your last day on this planet, dealing with real hate. And they are finding a way to persevere through it all so that their children can have the opportunity to right the wrongs that was bestowed upon them. You get the right to ship. How could you disrespect that and act like it didn't exist? They struggling didn't exist. I just don't know. That baffles me to this day. Like we talked about culture. Our culture was love, compassion, education. That is our culture. Not demon time. Not on game. On God and them. Hate. Kill. That's not our culture. That's not Black culture. Not at all. Not even close. It's the exact mirror opposite of us. And you let other people sell you their culture and implanted and imprinted on us that is something cool. You never hear me say, I'm on demon time. You never hear me say some retarded ass shit like that. If you don't have a love for your people, then you don't have a love for yourself. You let people turn you into what they wanted you to be. Now, the rest will be on the Patreon because then we can get a little deeper into the conversation that we can't have here, obviously. But on One Crack News, I want to make sure I at least gave you guys a fair example or sample, rather, of what you get on the Patreon when we have these chats and we have these educational moments. And we actually go over actual jobs and corporations and companies that you need to be learning from and you need to be taking steps from. Don't just watch the video, actually get involved. We have people on the Patreon who's actually started their own businesses and actually doing well now. And I'm happy for them. Because they said, man, you motivated me, man. You really told me I could do it. He's like, I just started off small, and now I realize I can turn this into a business. So he's like, I ain't been around that much on the Patreon because I've been doing this. And I'm like, look, if this helps you to do that, then do it. Help the next one. You know, that's the progress we want to talk about. Dude got a transportation business, doing good. Started learned about it, got all the details, and then he started making it happen. Most of us don't go anywhere. We have great ideas and don't go anywhere. Do you know why we don't go anywhere? Because we don't put the thing forward. And please, I understand people be like, yo, man, I want to partner with you. I'm not partnering with anybody on YouTube or on the internet on business. It's just not happening. Okay? I will select who I'm going to go do business with. I know I get it 1,000 times a day. It's just too much to go through. Okay? To say, let's partner up. Let's do this. I know you're excited, but no, we're not going to partner up and do anything. If I find something that is something that everybody get involved in and it might be feasible, then I'll bring it to you. But please, one guy's pitch, and I will tell you this before I go. One guy's pitch was doing a podcast where everybody is taking a shit. We're all in the bath toilet taking a dump, and we're doing a podcast. I said, that is a literal shit show. Pun intended. I'm out.